Clay Helton's done a great job at Georgia Southern, and the top 10 returning players he brings back for 2024 make this team an intriguing team in the Sun Belt Conference. Georgia Southern used to be one of those teams that when you talked about the triple option, they were one of the first teams that you mentioned. You talked about Army, Navy, Air Force, you talked about Georgia Southern. Those days are gone. This is not your dad's Georgia Southern team that you've seen, but there's still reason to like the rushing attack. There's still a lot of reasons why you like this attack offensively, and Jalen White is one of those reasons. 889 yards last year, 9 touchdowns. Now, this is a group that finished 108th running the football. So you're saying, why is a running back up here? Jalen White has been a model of consistency for this program. He has been a big reason why they have been so good. And he's going to be a reason why they will continue to be good. That's not going to be the exception. He is going to be one of those players that makes a big time impact. And even though, again, this is going to be a team that we'll see what happens in terms of the passing attack, we'll dive in that a little bit. But the rushing attack is going to be that steadying force, at least for the time being. The area that Helton is probably focused on the most is the defensive side of the ball. That being said, there's a lot to like about this group, specifically the front seven. The defensive line is going to be a fun group to watch, and Justin Rhodes is a big reason why. 13 tackles for loss last year, 6 feet, 280 pounds, a disruptive force for this Eagles defense. It'll be fun to see what he can do in a follow up year because most teams know what he's capable of doing. Fortunately for him, the talent around him is going to make it difficult for teams to send too much help his way, but he's going to have to expect some extra double teams, some chips, you name it. There's going to be extra attention sent his way, and it's just a matter of making an impact, even if you're not filling up the box score. We talked about the passing attack. This is a group that I don't think should take a step back. This is a unit that finished 13th in passing, and Derwin Burgess Jr. is a big reason why. You look at what he did last year, 816 yards, 6 touchdowns, a big time playmaker for this team, and he's probably going to do it again. Even with a new quarterback, there are certain players that you know you really like, and Burgess is one of those guys. He could be an explosive player once again, and he's going to be a reliable player once the quarterback position gets sorted out. Isaac Walker, to me, probably could be higher on this list. 8.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. I think that he did a lot of incredible things. And you look at what he did in terms of getting the football back to the offense. This is a guy who it's easy to see why he's one of the best players on this team. He's easily a guy who is going to be disruptive. And again, a lot of people know what he's capable of doing. Kind of the same thing as what we talked about with Justin Rhodes. What are you capable of doing in terms of getting the football back to your offense and getting the attention you deserve? You're probably going to see more tips again, double teams. But when you have the talent that Georgia Southern does, you can't afford to send too much pressure or too much help, I should say, to those guys because other guys are going to step up. Walker's one of them. Rhodes is another guy, and there's plenty of other talent around them that's going to make life miserable. Marquez Watson Trent has been a playmaker for this defense. 122 tackles last year, 13 tackles for loss. A guy that is going to, if this defense is going to take a step forward, it's because of guys like him. Against the defensive line and the linebackers are, I don't want to say a loaded group, but it's a very good group that has the potential to be extremely disruptive and make life very difficult for the guys in front of them. Another guy in that passing attack, Dalen Cobb. I don't think that Georgia Southern has the biggest wide receivers, but that does not matter. They are going to be explosive and they're going to figure out ways to get open and make plays. Again, the battle between JC French and Dexter Williams is probably what everyone's focused on, but that's probably a good thing because you don't have to worry about Derwin Burgess or Dalen Cobb. You get in LV Bunkley Shelton, tight end Tyler Fromm could be a big time player. You just don't have too many concerns about the Georgia Southern passing attack. So you feel like you're in good hands because these guys are going to get the job done regardless. When you struggle defensively, you probably don't get as much attention as you probably think you deserve. But a guy like TJ Smith flies under the radar because the struggles of this defense. Again, this is not one of the better defenses in college football. but the talent they have returning should be exciting for fans that are looking forward to something this year. Obviously, everyone expects the offense to be explosive, but can the defense do its part? TJ Smith is a disruptive player, can get the ball back to the offense. 3 interceptions last year, a big number for that group. And even though he's a little undersized at 5'9", 185 pounds, he's a playmaker that knows exactly what he's doing. Now, again, we talked about the rushing attack. OJ Arnold, to me, is probably the most underrated player on this list just because everyone's going to talk about Jalen White, and it's a rushing attack that's not going to get a ton of love because they want to throw the football. And here's the thing: when I have Jalen White so high on this list, it's because early in the season, while the quarterback situation plays out, you're going to need the rushing attack to play a big role. Unless you have an epiphany early, you need to find guys that can move the ball down the field. And a lot of times that's going to be the rushing attack. That's going to be the guys that are not relying on another player to get them the football. Now, yes, you're going to rely on the offensive line, but that's also another factor that affects the passing attack as well. So having Arnold and White back is bigger than I think a lot of people realize, and it's going to be a huge reason if they're successful early in the season while quarterbacks try to sort themselves out. Deshaun Davis is someone who could really benefit from the attention that Isaac Walker and Justin Rhodes get this year. This is a group that has plenty of talent and a group that it really expects big things despite the extra attention they're going to receive. Teams know what Walker's capable of doing, and it's easy to see last year. The amount of attention he's going to receive is going to be comical at times. Deshaun Davis benefits from that. Why? Because he's going to see a lot of favorable matchups. He's going to see probably some more one-on-one matchups where he gets to eat because he knows that there's only one guy in front of him, and that's the only thing standing between him and the ball carrier. If he's able to thrive in those situations, there's going to be a lot of good things that happen for this defense, and it's going to be a better group in 2024. And finally, on the back end, you look at a guy like Tyrell Davis, and you know that he has the potential to be more productive than he was last year. This is a guy who finished second on the team in tackles with 65. And with how good this front group can be, a guy like Davis could be even more disruptive and create more turnovers and create more plays because everyone's worried about what is the defensive line doing, what are the linebackers doing, and that means a guy like Davis is going to fly under the radar and really find a way to be disruptive because he is someone who has the ability to get the ball back to his offense. And it's not that he's not in the game plan for opposing offenses, but he's not the main focus. And that gives you a little bit more freedom in terms of not stressing out about what you need to do. And you're going to find that teams maybe put the ball in dangerous situations in your area. And if you're able to get the ball back, again, this defense has a lot of potential to be an improved group because of what they return. And if the front group is as good as advertised, this team is going to be a competitor for the Sun Belt Championship. And that is a run that's going to be exciting to watch.